If you have this new business idea, but you're like, somebody's already doing it, the market will accept 5 of the same thing. Just go look in your makeup drawer.
Yeah.
You have like 50 lipsticks and they're all one shade off of a different red, but you buy them all.
If you're in a market and you're the only one there, then there isn't a market.
Welcome to Married to the Startup. I'm Alicia and George, a wellness entrepreneur and digital creator. Alongside me is my amazing husband, George, the CEO who's always ready for a new challenge. We've been navigating marriage and running startups for over a decade, and we're here to share the real, unfiltered journey with you. Join us for insights and candid conversations about integrating love, family, and entrepreneurship. This is Married to the Startup, where every day is a new adventure. We're back.
Feels like I never left.
Episode number 46. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
I'm talking to my own soundtrack in my head.
All right, then.
Okay.
We are going to start with, where do we want to go? Okay, you know what? Let's just jump right into
Go on a
it.
journey.
Because I had to turn down an interview yesterday. And this interview was secured on Friday of last week. And I want to say maybe I got the info at like 4 p.m.
So not a job interview.
No, not a job interview, a publicity interview.
Publicity.
And no, it was probably before 4 p.m., but I was on my way to a tennis retreat. So I did not have the time nor desire to fully vet who I was going to be interviewed with. I did not do that until Monday morning.
Day of.
Upon vetting said person, I went to their social media, and one of the first posts on their page was, "Do we owe respect to the hateful dead?" And it had a photo of President Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk, and then a bunch of other writing laid over top of it. And that right there, I saw that, I screenshot it, I sent it to my team, and I'm like, I am not doing this interview. And it has nothing to do with my political beliefs. It has nothing to do with how I felt about Charlie Kirk or anything. It had everything to do with the fact that we're questioning whether or not a person deserves respect.
And I guess he was trying to make a play, a pun on Grateful Dead. Is that right?
I don't even know. I don't care. But what really, really bothers me is that we have gotten to a place where we can no longer disagree without fear of retaliation.
Or you can't disagree with someone's beliefs without making it attacks on their person.
But it's only online. And I think that's what really, really bothers me, right? I am friends with people of all different political and religious and socioeconomic beliefs. And we can be friends and not agree. And that's not to say that if you are a hardcore
whatever,
that I'm going to completely like glaze over it. Oh no, we're going to have hard, uncomfortable conversations. And if I make you uncomfortable, that's not my fault. That's yours.
Yeah. No, I just think it's the devolution of society, and social media has played a huge part in that. And the online, fear of retaliation. And I think Elon Musk went to bat saying, hey, that X/Twitter or whatever is the town hall square where you can say whatever you want. It's the freedom of speech. Well, that's kind of bullshit, because his analogy is wrong, because yes, it's a freedom of speech, but it's not a freedom of no repercussions, right? So when you say something, you can expect retort. But when you're online, you can say whatever you want. You can be as hateful as you want, and there's no fear of what's going to come from that. In the past, where his analogy kind of falls apart is if you were in the town hall and you were a crazy person, or you were screaming obscenities about somebody or someone's wife or, someone's husband, then, your repercussion could be you got slapped in the face or punched in the face or
shit thrown at you.
Yeah. Or you're going to have to deal with that person face to face, and all that is gone. So now it's taking freedom of speech kind of out of context, that now I have freedom of speech without any sort of repercussions or retaliation, because I can just put it out into the ether over the internet, and I can create a fake persona, a fake profile, so no one really knows it's me, and I can say whatever I want because no one's ever going to touch me.
Yeah.
There's no fear of what's going to happen after I say that.
And a prime example of this, I was on TikTok the other day, and I hate that I just said that, but
TikTok taught me.
I was on TikTok and it's this kid, he was like maybe in his 20s, and he was in the bathroom of his job and he posted this super obnoxious, like, this little bitch ass boss, like, fuck this dude, da 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 da. Da. And naturally, it went viral and his HR saw it
Of course.
and he got fired.
Eggs, what should happen?
Right? So, yes, it's social media and you have freedom to say whatever you want, but there are consequences that do not include taking somebody's life. I don't know why we have to say this.
Yes. And there's consequences it should be consequences to every action, right? Good or bad. And, kind of social media has taken some of the consequence away when you have anonymity.
But that's not where I wanted to go with this whole story. I wanted to go to the fact that it's okay to decline opportunities because they don't align with your personal beliefs.
Yes, I think that's a great point of this conversation, as well as, in a professional career, you got to be careful as to what you post online because that will definitely live forever until you delete it. But then, Google always has history, or there will be history of it. Someone will have screenshot it, or it'll be in somebody's archives.
Raise his hand. I screenshot it.
Yeah. And because your next job, your next whatever, that stuff is going to follow you forever. So if you go to interview for your next job and you're politicizing or making comments online that are inflammatory, and maybe you're just clickbaiting and trying to get views, but that's going to follow you forever.
And maybe it's like it's the mom in me. I don't want my children to fall down the rabbit hole of going along with things because the opportunity is so good or they have so much to gain from it, right? Like your morals and your ethics are not worth any opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's a lost trait in our society is integrity and living with integrity. That, if that's not something you believe in, don't go along to get along. Just don't do it. And don't participate or contribute to things you don't align with. And that's back to, understanding who you are as a person. Have your core values set and your direction set, and you live by it versus chasing the almighty dollar or fear of, this opportunity may pass and then I will have lost fame, exposure, money, whatever.
But is that really worth it?
It's not.
It's not. At the end of my day, it is not worth it. Maybe at the end of your day it is, but we're different people and we can have different beliefs.
Yeah, and it's all about, I live, I try to have core values that I live by. And, money is not a value, right? It's a placeholder of value sometimes, but it's not something that I like money. Yeah, I like what money can give me, the experiences it can give me. But, most of the things you buy are short-term happiness. It's just a dopamine hit when you buy it and then it goes away.
I don't know. Every time I put on those boots, I'm like,
of course.
Oh, these boots are so sexy.
Yeah, and they're made for walking.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on.
That's a hard one to keep your kids aligned to.
I know.
Because it's, as teenagers, it's really hard to stand your ground as to what you believe in and have integrity.
But also as a female, it's really hard to
I know. We had this conversation at length for a couple weeks, and it's, how do we teach our daughters that, just accepting comments because, men have always hit on me, or men have always said this to me, and it's just, I just ignore it. Like, no, you shouldn't. We shouldn't ignore it. We should address it and move on.
My very first job, and I remember it, I think I was like 16 years old. I worked at a Foot Locker in the mall, and I was sexually harassed by one of my bosses, right? Like he would take one of the sticks that you use to put up, like hang, like
jerseys.
You hang jerseys or whatever. And he would constantly like poke me with it and stick it between my legs. And it got to a point one day where I was like, I'm fucking done with this. And I turned him in. They escorted him off. They put me at a different store. Like it was a whole thing. And it took me like 2 weeks to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is not fucking okay.
Yeah. And how do we move that left for our children that, happens once, address it right then, happens again, you're done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I was young and
I know
dumb.
it's really hard. I mean, it's hard, especially when someone's in a position of power above you or older than you. You're like, oh, maybe this is accepted, and it's how do we teach our kids that that's not accepted
Definitely.
on both sides too,
on
for the
both
boys too.
sides.
Like, hey, catcalling. I don't know if that's ever worked in the history of man, so I don't know why they do it. But teaching them how to talk to a woman and
How to respect women.
yeah, and how do you flirt with a little bit of dignity versus just being over the top. And I think it's I don't know. I would say it's cultural, but I don't know. Like I've never personally done any of that in my life, but I've seen plenty of times it happen. So I don't know. It's weird.
Indeed. Dating is hard. I've talked to a few people about dating recently.
Yeah, it's not just dating. It's more about raising your kids.
Yeah.
Like how do you create the next generation to be better? Especially now that you combine those two things. So it's like, okay, crass comments and then now anonymity. So now you probably amplify that online. Like I'm sure you see it a lot. I don't have a social media presence, so I don't. And I don't think men kind of suffer from the same predatory kind of behavior. But I'm sure when you post things online, you get messages all the time about, inappropriate messages because somehow guys think that's that cat call on 11.
Well, that's the reason I stopped posting our children online. Because of inappropriate comments about my kids. It goes multiple ways. A, there's pedophiles. B, there's creepy people. And C, there's anonymity.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think it's just a cesspool.
It is.
There's some nice pockets of social media. I will say I've met some amazing people, but for the most part, it's just too much. And it's the downfall of society.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right, moving on to something that we can control.
Which is? What can I control?
Look at your biceps.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yum. You're looking awfully juicy over there, Mr. McKenzie. All right. So when did we start our peptide cycle? November of last year?
No, I think I didn't start it until I think February or March of this year.
Okay. So
I did one cycle and then the summer we kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm on my second cycle.
George just went and got his blood test and like all of his blood work and his body fat results and everything. And since you've run your second cycle of testosterone,
started it, yeah.
You have, let me see, gained 6 pounds of skeletal muscle mass and you have lost almost 2 pounds of fat. Oh, 2%. No, you've lost 1% of your body weight.
Yeah. 1% of my body fat.
So you've gone from like 14% body fat down to 13, but then your muscle mass has gone from 85 pounds of muscle mass to 91. That's a pretty good little increase.
It is.
Okay. So what exactly have you been doing?
I allowed ChatGPT to create a workout regimen for me for men 48 and older. 48.
48 and older.
Yeah, exactly. I told him, hey, I'm 48. I'm on testosterone. I'm trying to gain muscle mass and create a 12-week program. And I can only commit to working out 2 days a week, but give me a third day as an option, a pump session.
Okay.
So I do.
That was the prompt
That was the prompt I used.
Within ChatGPT.
Yep. And it created a 12-week program for me.
Okay.
So I've been doing that program. I've been doing the testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to ingest my body weight in protein every day, which is extremely hard.
Okay.
But I'm super regimented. So like I eat the same breakfast every day and I'll eat the same lunch every day.
Who cooks your breakfast every day?
You do, baby. So getting my calories under control is pretty easy because I just find one meal that gives me almost 40 grams of protein in the morning. And then my lunch meal is probably another 60.
Mm-hmm.
And, I kind of eat the exact same thing every day. And then I'm on a stack of vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
So taurine for energy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it. Ashwagandha. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yay. For my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Along with, I haven't done the patch in a couple of weeks, but I probably should do that again. And then vitamin D drops and a couple other vitamins that promote testosterone growth.
Yeah. And your blood work came back and
everything was great.
Everything's it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. My IGF-1 is at the higher end of the range from my age group.
Yeah.
My testosterone improved, my free testosterone improved, and all of my other metrics are within normal range.
Yep. Good job, babe.
Yeah.
So you set a goal.
And I've been measuring it, and I said I wanted to put on 5 pounds of muscle mass, and I have.
That's pretty cool, though.
It is.
I think that's really cool.
Especially at 48 to still be able to build muscle mass. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. But
without killing myself. I'm only working out twice a week.
But without killing yourself, but also you started a peptide, but you also had to do the other work around it, right? It's not like you can just inject this shit in you and then automatically put on muscle.
All right. Yeah.
No,
so
not
I do,
going to happen.
2 days a week of an hour and 15 workouts,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 days a week when I can get it in. If not, my cardio is pickleball. And
Yeah, but I think that's plenty.
yeah. Yeah. And I generally feel good. Don't have any joint pains. The only joint pain is it's not really a joint, it's just heel pain.
I think that's from pickleball.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else feels good.
So I just thought it was really cool to give a little bit of an update. And I have the opposite, right? I'm coming off of peptides. I'm going to take probably a 12-week break off of them, only because the ones I was on, my nurse practitioner, Dr. Nikki, she told me that it's better to cycle off and on in 3-month chunks, so I'm going to listen to her. I'm going to take the next 3 months off.
Yeah. I think we've been doing that, like maybe not prescriptively. Like the summer, we just lost peptides and
like physically lost
yeah, like
them.
physically lost them. And then we tried to get replacements, and then just sticking to it while we were on vacation and while we were at the beach house was tough. So it kind of became meh. I think most of the summer was not you really doing it.
No, and I paid for it, right? When I came back from the summer break, like my blood work was absolute shit. Like my iron was freakishly low, just all sorts of things were off. But now, and the number one predictor of how healthy you are is the frequency and the consistency of your menstrual cycle, right? So my cycle went from like being super consistent, super perfect to like, oh, maybe it'll show up on day 36. Oh, maybe it'll show up on day 20. Who knows? Which is not good. But now we're like right back on it. So
Yay.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's being in charge of your own health plan and understanding your body and knowing your metrics, know what your blood work is and your body fat and your weight, and kind of just measuring it, not every day, but at least once a quarter. And if you want to try something new, create a plan, what are the measurements of success, right? What are the things that I'm going to measure to know if I'm on track, on pace, and how do I gauge success versus, hey, do I look better in the mirror? Or does the scale say a different number or the number I want it to say?
Yeah.
There's a lot of other lead indicators and things you need to do
Absolutely.
to really know that you
And then you're
hit what you
basically
wanted.
just setting KPIs for your body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like running a business. Be
It
the
is.
CEO of your own body.
Okay. So perfect segue into our next topic, which is I saw this headline come through on my email and I was like, yes, so good. How do you deal with idea creep?
Idea creep. Is that like scope creep?
Kind of. It's
Okay.
right. So
Lay it on me.
you're a CEO, you're the head of this company, you set strategic vision, you have people that work with you and for you, and they come to you with this amazing idea. Like, I've got an idea that is so impactful and novel and it's great. And you're like, I'm sure your idea is fantastic, but right now is not the time.
Yeah, I've personally experienced this several times.
That's what I mean. How do you do it? And what I've seen, like ideas thrown around that you have monthly innovation meetings. So tell me.
No, I think that's a great point. Whoever wrote that article, and I'd love to read it. It's probably one of the lead indicators of whether a company is successful or not, is if you can, as a CEO, set a strategy and stay focused and execute against that strategy. Not that, that strategy is going to be set in stone for 5 years, but you got to have a guiding light and a pathway in which you're trying to go. And if you have those KPIs and lead indicators, you're measuring success of that, and you pivot when the metrics tell you so. I think a lot of entrepreneurs fall victim to is that new idea syndrome. Like what you're saying is, there's this new product, there's this new idea, there's this new customer demand, there's this new thing that I could do. And before you know it, either you're no longer executing on the strategy and the vision and where all of your spend is going, and you're doing other things, or you become a company that does a million things but nothing well, and there's no differentiation in the marketplace, and then you can't support what you've built because it's like an octopus, you got all these tentacles of service offerings or products or whatever, and you can't focus to actually do any of them well.
Yeah.
And what I did in the past is, I'll give you a concrete example. So at Defense Point, I had we had this issue a lot where we had a lot of smart cybersecurity engineers and they would love to build their own shit, right? And then why would I use this product when I can build my own? Why would I, do X, Y, or Z when I can just find the time to invent it myself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from a vision perspective, we had a set of strategic partners in which we were going to go to market with those technology sets.
Yeah.
And we were going to be the best in the world at those things. But our folks internally would be like, oh, well, Elastic is the new Splunk, or this is the new that. And they wanted to test and play with that. So we created what we had called fellows. We created the fellows program.
Okay.
And in there, it was, they met once a month and they would talk about creative ideas and test out things and build things as projects. And then we had elected someone that was the king of the fellows, but he just ran the program, right? And that he was in charge of R&D, and he ran the program. And then at our quarterly business reviews, he would brief us out on what they're doing. And he would say, hey, we are evaluating this new blah, 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 and we think it could be a service offering in the future. And that's something that we would look at. We'd stress test. We'd create a business plan around and say, okay, what's the capital investment required to bring this to market? Can we support it? Is there enough demand? What's the addressable market that this new service offering can consume? And then we'd make a decision. And that's kind of how we selected annually. Like, what are let's say at the beginning, we were doing McAfee and Splunk, and I don't remember the third, but we had Tenable, let's just say. So we were doing those three technology sets as go to market, and we were becoming experts on those things. We were certified on those things, and that's who we wanted to be the best in the world at. And then over time, like in year 2, year 3, we decided, hey, it's McAfee's not best of breed anymore. That's not where we want to be. We're going to go CrowdStrike, or we're going to go whatever. And that group is what led us there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how we did it. But we had to create a program around it, because if not, it was
dropping into your Slack channels.
Yeah, it was constant.
Random emails and like stop you in the hallway.
Yeah. Why aren't we doing Elastic? Because Splunk is so yesterday. Or why are we doing this? And it's just, you get inundated with it.
Yeah. So that was the cadence that this woman posited, right? It's every year you set the vision, every quarter you align the OKRs or the KPIs, and then every month you run a tactical experimentation meeting to see who has new ideas.
Yeah. How about that?
Shocker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we did at Defense Point. And S2, we did very, very similar.
Right. But if you're in a startup and you don't hear these things or know these things, you've got ideas flying at you constantly. And you're like, oh, that's a great idea. Pivot. Oh, nope. Oh, another great idea. Pivot.
And I think it's the same with like marketing and sales strategies. Like if you don't create a quarterly sales strategy and run it, because if there's always going to be, what if we did this email campaign? Well, email campaigns aren't really working. Let's do a social media campaign. Well, that social didn't work. Let's revamp our website. Oh, well, let's go to trade shows. Oh, well, let's sponsor talks. Oh, let's do podcasts. Let's do webinars. Let's do, right? And you end up with 1,000 points of light, and you just don't know if anything succeeded or really failed, because you didn't really put any effort into any of it. You just kept trying things. I'm not saying you shouldn't experiment, especially when you're small, but you got to have...
There has to be a clear channel.
You got to know what success looks like.
Yeah.
Like, is it working or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I measure it?
Yeah. So that's
a great article. You should share that.
Yeah. My struggle right now is like, and I'm pretty sure this article is behind a paywall of which I pay for. But it's also just like a level of transparency, right? With the person coming to you with an idea, right? It's like, it's not a no, but it's just not right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you give them homework, right? Hey, that's a great idea. Why don't you build a business case around that? Or what does the market opportunity for that look like? Yeah. And, posit it back to them so that they can continue to work and flush the idea out. Maybe they come to the conclusion themselves that, hey, there's not a market for this, or it's not a market fit. Or they come back to you and they've done the legwork and it is something you should really look at.
But you don't want to disincentivize innovation.
Yes.
Right. So it's figuring out how to positively encourage people to continue on, right? You've got a great idea, maybe explore it. Or you have a great idea. How about we submit it through Airtable and then...
What is Airtable? I don't know what that is.
It's actually something that my publisher uses.
Oh, what is it?
It's just it's another platform where you can hold ideas or events or PR hits or anything related to the book. It's got budgeting and everything in there. Just another platform.
There's a SaaS app for everything.
There's a SaaS app for everything.
It's probably a misnomer. There's 12 SaaS apps for everything.
Oh my gosh.
They all do 80% of what the other one does.
That's such an important thing to keep in mind, though. Like, if you have this new business idea, but you're like, somebody's already doing it, the market will accept 5 of the same thing. Just go look in your makeup drawer.
Yeah.
You have like 50 lipsticks and they're all one shade off of a different red, but you buy them all.
If you're in a market and you're the only one there, then there isn't a market.
Yeah, that's also a sad fact. So it's okay. Your idea doesn't have to be novel and unique.
No, not every idea needs to be brought to fruition.
It's like, I'm currently drinking an Izzy right now, but I have Poppy in my fridge. It's like basically the same thing, but Poppy just sold for what, 500 million or something?
I thought it was $1 billion.
I feel like maybe $1 billion. That seemed like a ridiculous number to say, though, for soda.
Well, soda is incredibly lucrative because the cost of goods sold for each one of those cans is like pennies.
Unless you're Arizona tea and you just keep your prices the same forever because you want to do a good thing. I know.
But even his COGS are low.
Yeah.
His biggest cost driver is the aluminum can.
If he wasn't making money, he wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. He's just not making the same margin he was making before.
For sure.
But yeah, the cost of the liquid in there is nothing.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Are we done?
I don't know. How long have we talked? 28 minutes? That doesn't seem very long.
Really?
Nah, it's plenty.
I think it's plenty.
Who wants to listen to me talk for 25 minutes?
Not I.
I am offended.
All right, we'll be back. Thank you for tuning in to Married to the Startup. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us reach more people and keeps the conversation going. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, drop me a message. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time.
George, out.